What's going on, y'all? It's Drew with This, That, and Third podcast. And today I will be talking about a little concept that I've come to learn. I'm still learning, still practicing. But the concept is that discipline should be an act of self love. And by discipline, that doesn't necessarily mean anything like painful towards yourself. I mean, obviously, discipline can be painful though. Don't get me wrong, but by discipline, it doesn't have to be like reprimanding, or it doesn't have to be like taxing on the body, or anything that you just is like hurtful to you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Discipline. When I say discipline should be an act of self love, I mean that in the sense of like you should want to do the things that are hard and may not be like you may not want to do them, but you should do them because it's an act of self love. At the end of the day, when you have discipline, when you're having that self control, when you're getting up early to go work out, when you're eating that food that you don't want to eat, when you're abstaining from things that you may really want to indulge in, you know what I'm saying? Look at that as an act of self love. You know what I'm saying? I always, time and time again, I say in these videos, it's about perspective and it's about how you look at things. So when you start to look at abstaining from these bad things that don't serve you, when you start to look at waking up early as an act of self love, that's when your perspective on it changes. Like I think I might have said this in the video once before, but when you change the way you look at things, what you look at changes. So with discipline, when you look at it from a this is actually helping me. Like me having this discipline, me really being hard on myself. This is good. This is for a reason. This is going to cause growth. Then that discipline will no longer be like something that's like gruesome. Like I need to do this. Like I gotta get up early today. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta eat good. And the reason that I say I'm still practicing these things because I feel like even still, like when you're starting things, you have to have a right intention for it. Like discipline and consistency go hand in hand. So when you have consistency with no discipline, you're just doing the same things over and over again, but you're not really doing them with the right intent. Like we had talked about it prior in a video, talking about how like you would rather be going 100% at something that you want to do rather than just being like 30% in like a bunch of different things, but just saying that you got your hand in. So that's what matters. And the same with discipline. Like if you have discipline, if you have the will, but you only have that for a week at a time, and then the next week you go off and you're just back to kind of just loafing around, not doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. You're not gonna really experience that joy of what you've worked towards. You're not gonna be able to plant the seeds that you really have grown because it starts as plant, seed, and harvest, something like that. Like it takes time. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. Like plant the seed, cultivate it, and then harvest, or something along the lines of that. But pretty much like when you start to look at discipline as like this is good for me. I need this because honestly, that's like one of the biggest reality checks that you can give yourself. Like I need this discipline. Like doing something that you know damn, like in the moment right now, I don't feel like doing this, but I know it's good for me. I know it's what I need. I know based on my long term goals, this is something that I have to do. Once you start to narrow that down as to just matter of fact, I'm gonna just look at this as it's gonna help me, and that's all I can really get from it. Like I'm not gonna look at the bad. I'm not gonna weep in my sorrows about what I don't want to do. When I just look at this as this is something that I have to get done and I have to do it, that's when my perspective on it will change. So once you really allow discipline to be an act of self love, you'll start to do more things for yourself because you understand that discipline and consistency is really an act of self love. Like you're really giving back to yourself. You're dedicating that love, that time to yourself for real though. Not just because you want to, you know what I'm saying, you wanna you have this fiery desire to like change and you just go a week with going to the gym, eating healthy, reading, whatever the case may be, practicing the things that you're preaching, and then you just go right back to, you know what I'm saying, doing what you do. But when you let discipline be an act of love, an act of self love, you start to want to do those things. You know what I'm saying? You want to go at it every day. You want to work hard. You want to strive. You want to be the best person you can be. And you're hard on yourself about it. And it's like, if you can't check someone else on what they're doing, if you're not even being hard on yourself, like if you're not like pushing yourself to the fullest potential, how can you push someone else to the fullest potential, you know? So yeah, man. Discipline should be an act of self love. Let discipline be an act of self love. Understand that by disciplining yourself, following the right routines, and by really honing in on the things that you really have to do, that's in the end going to help you. Don't look at it as something that's going to be tiresome, gruesome, painful. This is helping me change your perspective on things, and what you look at will change. Yeah, it's Jew with this, that, and the third, and I'm out.